we continue to look at what it would take to bring Islands of Adventure up to the standard now set by Universal Studios Florida on episode 278 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. It's me, Tracy, as usual. And with me I have Lee.
Hello everyone.
And Darren.
What's up, Internet?
Still getting used to this new format of introducing.
I know.
It's not introducing you, it's introducing yourself. That's the difficult bit.
That's the easy bit.
I kind of went into it's a me, Mario type thing there, but it's... Hey, that's relevant.
Oh, we can do Mario references now. Woohoo!
It is, yeah.
Yay! How is everybody?
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
Are we missing somebody?
We are. Now, unfortunately, Mark couldn't join us this time for part 2, but he has left us his notes.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because Taylor's cracked the whip and he won't let him come on anymore.
After last time.
Not true.
You decided to remove him from your shenanigans.
It doesn't show Orlando Informer in a good light. when he starts coming down to your level.
Funny.
I don't know. So this week is part 2 of our look at what we think needs to happen to Islands of Adventure to get it up to the standard set by Universal Studios Florida. On the last show, as you will remember because you all listened, like good little boys and girls.
It's good. We had a decent bit of feedback over it, actually.
Good. We looked at Port of Entry. It's perfect. Just needs more of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Zeus Landing. Perfect. Just needs more of it. The Lost Continent. Perfect. Just needs more of it. And Hogsmeade. Perfect. Just needs more of it. Yeah.
I don't think we're quite there, but yeah.
This week we are going to continue with the rest of the park. And we will be starting with Jurassic Park, because that is correct when we're walking anti-clockwise, or counterclockwise, depending on which continent you're on. Yeah. So, I think we'll start with Mark's.
Okay.
So, Mark has said, I have to admit, this is the area of the park that disappointed me the greatest when I originally set foot in it nearly 6 years ago. While it's suggestive of the classic 1993 film, it's not recreative. Certainly not to the point where Hogsmeade is. As such, I'd want to take that much-used fleet of bulldozers and raise the whole thing to the ground again, allowing us to build a pitch-perfect facsimile of Spielberg's cinematic tour de force, or I guess we could retrofit it to the new Jurassic World trilogy.
I should have gone first.
That's all right. Don't worry, Darren. He's done mine as well.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't really care which way we go. I want this island to actually be Isla Nublar.
Yeah.
With that iconic fence running through the area and audio animatronic dinosaurs roaming about. Imagine Pandora, the world of Avatar's animal call soundscape, evolving throughout the day, but with dinos instead.
All three of us are going, I have no idea what you're talking about because we've never been in it.
But it'll be the same as like animals here.
Yeah.
The calls are different depending on the time of day it is.
Is that what it's like? Oh, that's awesome.
So, because you have your dawn chorus, you also have your dusk chorus and in between.
Cool.
So I imagine that's what he means.
Yeah.
Or whether Jurassic Park River Adventure stays or goes in this purely hypothetical reality, it desperately needs an upgrade across the board, particularly in its audio animatronics.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Which I agree with.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying that for donkey's years.
Yeah. It's not... the thing is, it was never... you've got animatronics in water in the Florida sun. It was never going to be conducive to them looking their best for very long.
Right.
Darren, what have you got? Because I've actually just found a little note I made last time that said Darren first. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, I just figured everybody was going to probably come up with the same idea, so I just wanted to have mine out first. But yeah, my idea pretty much is raise the whole thing to the ground, except for the visitor center, which I would like to somehow retain and keep in ruins. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, that's a big plot of land just to use for a gimmick. So if they did want to take that out, the new visitor center from the new Jurassic World would be great with the big holographic dinosaur in the middle.
Yes.
That'd be
And
awesome.
I would like that to be like the centerpiece of the land, is to actually do that and get a full practical holographic dinosaur effect in the middle of a room. That is that convincing and that cool. That can be viewed from all angles like that one was. I think they have the technology to do something like that.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well, you think about it, they did it with their 2-pack, didn't they?
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
that,
that's
doing it to a stage. So, but
True.
there's got to be a way to do it around scale.
Yeah.
It might be a lot of money, but You got to do that for your attractions every once in a while, I guess. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like everything pretty much needs to go. The River Adventure ride is, of course, not one of my favorites. The one part of the ride I like so much is that last bit where you see the T-Rex right before you drop.
Yeah.
And the drop itself, and the rest of the ride is kind of weak in my opinion. There's a lot more that they could have done with it, I think. And now with the technology they have, we can do a lot more than just like a river drop ride for Jurassic Park. So I would like to see a ride based on the spheres, those sphere vehicles from the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got Biosphere down here. I'm not sure whether that's right now. Is that what they're called?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure what they were called there, but yeah, basically have that be the main centerpiece attraction that replaces River Adventure, and I want that to be a big one. But to make the ride vehicles look like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then but just base it completely around the Lost World. You've already got a good tie-in with City Walk out front and everything like that, and I would like to see more interactive characters walking around. Like your Chris Pratt type character and. The different people, and you can pay homage to that with some of the older characters as well. I always wanted to see in the Jurassic Park area like a meet and greet with what's his name, the one that sets it all off.
Nedry.
Nedry. I would love to have like a Nedry meet and greet.
That'd be cool,
back behind the raptor, behind those the ones that spit at him, those those dinosaurs and stuff like that. Just really embrace that here and there, because you can always add those into the sides and still have it be, Lost World mainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mainly my idea for it. It was just to completely take it out and rebuild Lost World in place.
Cool. Lee?
Pretty much the same. I think everyone's going to call it the same. Just the problem, I like the River Adventure, but it doesn't make sense because it's not. There's nowhere. I think they do go down a river at some point in the book, not the film, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Thought about that.
But I think we have said that Islands of Adventure, every area is based off literature at some point. So I suppose, you can get away with it a little bit. But I think most people's knowledge of Jurassic Park comes from the movie, and at no point do they go on a boat. So it doesn't really make sense. So I'd quite happily take that out. I think the gyrospheres, as they're called, as I've just found out there, would be perfect for it. And I've on the grapevine over the last year or so, I'd heard that someone had worked on a pattern for those, for an attraction based on those. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I heard. If you think back to when Jurassic World came out, Universal also filed patents to use the name Indominus Rex and another one, but I can't remember what the other one is. So they were obviously thinking about something.
What's one of those things? If you can own a name, whether you're going to use it now, you might use it in the future. So you just
that's true. I suppose
you just do it. You patent it straight away.
Can get it.
Yeah.
Like I thought, the visitor centre. It was always that's the weenie, as Walt Disney used to call it. That's the thing. You walk to the top of Port of Entry, and that's what you see.
You don't anymore.
You still do, but I think it's overshadowed a little bit by Hogwarts being beside. And I think I mentioned this on the end of our last episode, talking about this, that you rip the Discovery Centre out and make Hogwarts that weenie. Then you see it from across the park, which then gives you the option of putting those boats going across to Hogsmeade, like the kids would in the books and the films. I think it needs a decent restaurant in there. Thunder Falls Terrace it's all right, actually. We went there last time and it wasn't bad.
No, it's really nice on the inside too.
Yeah, but it's still just. I think you've mentioned it before, and I think we've talked about it here before, that the food's very similar to what you can get in the Three Broomsticks at this point.
Yeah.
So I think a decent sit-down restaurant in there would be good. And I think if you want to go down the Jurassic World route, you could pull Margaritaville out of City Walk to make space for something else to go into City Walk and put Margaritaville in Jurassic World.
Perfect. That would be a great fit. And then, and then sell all that dino themed merchandise that they were doing over there
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in conjunction with the movie. That'd be great. Yeah.
I'm surprised. It's weird at Universal when the things they do jump on, you look at Fast and Furious, they jumped on the Harry Potter thing. So I know I've just gone off on a complete tangent there. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened in 2010, the first one, and I think we were the Deathly Hallows Part 1 come out at that point, or are we?
Don't know.
I think we were pretty much, there was either 1 or 2 films left. And the same with Fast and Furious. They're putting a Fast and Furious ride in when I think 9's just about to come out. They do seem to jump on things a little late. I would have liked to have seen them jump on Jurassic World a little earlier. But I don't think there's much else to say. Just retheme it to Jurassic World. It needs to feel more like a Jurassic World theme park, because it doesn't. It just feels like a sort of jungly area with some dinosaur bits and bobs in it.
Which I like, because I like the greenery.
Yeah.
And the cool...
But
the
it's
shade
supposed
and
to
stuff.
be Jurassic
I know.
Park, and it doesn't feel like Jurassic Park
and
until you get down to the Discovery Centre.
They could have... All it takes is a little thing that's whipping round in the bushes.
Yeah.
To make it sound
I
like
think you've
something's
said that before when we've been in there.
moving in the bushes. Have something on a track with the compy noises.
And a sound effect that played every now and again, just
Yeah,
to give the
and you feel-
illusion
so
that
you-
there's something
hang on,
there.
there's something watching me.
Yeah,
here.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But,
take an awful lot.
it
That's
doesn't-
nothing, It just
But,
gives you that illusion that you're in somewhere where there is stuff going on out of sight.
Yeah.
I don't have any. Everything's been covered that I've got. So
Mhm.
yeah.
It was an obvious
yeah.
retheme, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something I'm sure they're kicking themselves for when they went ahead with Skull Island,
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
because they could expand out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that,
What a segue.
let's. Yes, thanks for that, Darren. Lee, have you got anything on Skull Island?
I haven't actually, because originally when I'd done this, I wasn't touching Skull Island.
No. Well, we've not seen it, so I can't comment. So, Darren.
Yeah. I just really the only thing that I would add, being that the area is not quite so big, is that if you were gonna retheme Toon Lagoon to give a little bit more space to Skull Island, and introduce some dedicated eating place. I don't know if you want to do a full restaurant or maybe a mess tent jungle kind of setup, much like in Animal Kingdom, the Dino area, that restaurant they have there that looks like it's in a bunch of Airstream trailers and stuff. I think that kind of thing would be cool for that
Restaurant.
yeah, exactly. And just to have that some inside seating and then some just outside picnic table, just with that military netting around you and stuff like that, just to feel like you're eating out in the jungle. Maybe even some fire pit barbecue and stuff out there where they're actually cooking out on the pits to make it look like it and smell like it out there.
That would be cool, because you could put you could make spits that they're not using with sort of weird Skull Island animal bits.
Oh yeah.
Roasting on the rotisseries, just to sort of give that illusion that you could be eating.
Yeah,
weird.
Those giant disgusting bats in the ride and stuff.
Or one of those flubberworm things. No, flubberworm's a Harry Potter thing, but whatever those wormy things are.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that would be great. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that'd be perfect. So yeah, just something like that, and then a walk around characters from the ride, from the attraction, I think would be cool. Because it would help bring them to life a little bit more as well. Because you see their silhouettes when you're in the ride vehicle, and you hear them talk to them. And you hear, unique voices from them, but it would be a whole other thing if you got off the ride and then that person that was, doing your ride was greeting you as you exit.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty neat. So,
yeah,
not a whole lot that I had there for it, but I think just a few things that would make it really cool.
See, I kind of thought if they wanted to go down the route of doing an actual restaurant, they could move into Jurassic Park and take over Thunder Falls Terrace.
Well, I was trying to give Jurassic Park as much space as I could for a Lost World, and Toon Lagoon definitely has the space to spare, I think.
True. It does. So. It's a shame that it is just such a little area, Skull Island, because I think the film was really good. I think a lot of people expected it to be crap, and it's. I think it's took a lot of people by surprise.
Mhm.
It was actually. I really enjoyed it. I actually want to watch it again because I think it's one of those. I watched it and thought it was all right, and then the more I sort of read and watch little clips of it and
Yeah.
stuff, I think, do you know, I really want to watch it again. Actually,
Yeah.
and I think they could do with giving it a little bit more area.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah.
needs a lot else. I don't think it needs
It's so
anything.
new, though, that,
Yeah,
it's.
Mhm.
I assume there's more in the works.
possibly. It'd be interesting
Yeah.
to see because obviously the next, even though it's not tied into the Skull Island film, it's not because it's based off the Peter Jackson one, but they've gone off the title of that because it was supposed to be originally, doesn't it? And then was it Warner Brothers were doing it originally and it went to somebody else? Was it? I can't remember now. Because obviously their next one is. Are they doing another Godzilla film? Are they doing Godzilla versus King Kong? I can't remember now. Yeah, because they've done Godzilla, haven't they? The one with
that's it.
thingy in.
Yeah.
And then King Kong. And then it's supposed to be Godzilla versus King Kong in the next one. So whether they'll ever do a Godzilla attraction alongside it, maybe. Because that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
To go down
Yeah.
a sort of those monsters route in the theme parks would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, Mark had a lot for this one. Let's
Okay.
see. He said, although just a tiny land, he says, Q, he's just a little guy. He don't want to fight from Tommy Boy. There's actually quite a bit that can be done to make Skull Island feel much bigger and more expansive and more mysterious and more dangerous. I wrote an article about it at the beginning of this year. Link below.
Not now, there isn't.
I'm going to lift those ideas from my prattle here. Firstly, a no-brainer. Let's take the mess tents, rather generic offerings of standard, boring hot dogs. Are you kidding me? That hot dog is 20 feet long. That's okay, whatever.
The Kong dog.
And pretzels. Yeah, the Kong dong. and pretzels, and expand it, or preferably replace it with exclusive culinary items. Obviously, going the route of Harry Potter's butterbeer or The Simpsons Duff beer isn't feasible, but why not include elaborate banana-centric concoctions, including ice cream, alcohol, or both? Or say an Eighth Wonder Expedition Company meal kit for newly arrived explorers, appropriately themed to the 1930s setting. Food cart or not, there's no reason for the food cart to be utterly forgettable.
True.
Yeah.
Secondly, let's take the various characters that Universal created for Reign of Kong and have them come out to meet and greets with guests, or even better, do some kind of mini projection mapping show like during the land's grand opening when the various guys and dolls summon King Kong.
Yeah.
So, we had that same kind of idea with the meet and greet thing. I think that's something that really needs to happen there to flesh out that area and just give them a little bit more life.
Yeah. You see, you don't need to do an awful lot to it because it's not a land as such. It is effectively just the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark hitting something there that I've got kind of like to discuss as a whole at the end, so I won't go into it. I won't even say what it was. Well, I guess really we should take a little ad and go and visit our friends at Mouse and Muggle.
Doesn't listening to the crew at UUOP every week make you wish that you were actually at Universal Orlando Resort? Well, stop wishing and start doing. Mouse and Muggle Travel Company is the perfect place to begin. Their team of concierge-level travel planners will help you every step of the way. And for you Muggles who also love the mouse, their team of experts specialize in Disney destinations too. And the best part of all, their services are free to you. So, if you're ready to plan your next Disney or Universal vacation, let Mouse and Muggle Travel Company do all the work for you. Just go to mouseandmuggle.com and fill out a no-obligation quote request. Or send an email to info@mouseandmuggle.com. And remember, whether you're a mouse or a muggle, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company can help make your next vacation simply magical.
Right, so now it's on to Toon Lagoon. Unfurl those huge scrolls, fellas.
I'm going to say, to quote Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Right. I'm just going to try and decipher my scribbled notes from last time.
Okay.
I'm going to go first. Yes. So obviously, let's assume we're keeping it.
Okay.
All right.
I think you're probably the only person that's assumed we're keeping
but
it.
If they're going to keep it, they need to bring it up to date. Right?
Yeah, okay.
They've also got a lot of international visitors now.
Yeah.
So they need to have cartoon characters that are actually relevant worldwide, not just to the United States.
Well, as it stands now, what do we know? Hagar, Popeye, and kind of Dudley Do-Right, Blondie.
Blondie's kind of...
Marmaduke.
Marmaduke we did a bit, but that was more of a newspaper comic strip. Beetle Bailey we did have, but that was before we were born.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's about
I
it,
think
really.
we're close to the last generation that knows anything about them.
Right.
Yeah. So I had a little look around. Modern cartoon characters. I mean, I know he's not modern, but he's still relevant. Garfield.
Really?
I've not been looking into licensing or anything. I'm just throwing things out here.
What the idea for this, it wasn't licensing, it was...
Garfield. Who doesn't love Garfield?
Yeah.
And straight away, there's a new menu item.
Oh, your lasagna.
Asterix and Obelix are still very popular today.
Yeah, in France.
Doesn't matter. I loved Asterix.
I did as a kid, to be honest.
They've
got their own theme park.
There was Bo Peep.
What, from Toy Story?
No. And that's actually a UK one, right from 1978 until last year, actually.
I've never heard of that.
Like the Foreign Legion type.
Right.
Anyway.
Hang
on. Calvin and Hobbes.
See, I don't know Calvin and Hobbes.
You are kidding me. Little boy with his stuffed tiger that comes to life.
Oh, it rings a bell.
Good.
I don't watch cartoons.
You didn't have to. It was in the paper.
I didn't read the paper. Oh, I did, but I wasn't looking at those pages.
Your parents did not raise you correctly. I know that this is in another park, but Peanuts.
Yeah, I think that's very farm of them, don't they?
Dilbert.
Okay,
not always child friendly, but Dilbert. Very not child friendly. The Far Side.
I had no idea what that is.
I have some Far Side stuff later. I'll show you later.
Darren, are you aware of Far Side?
Yeah, Gary Larson.
Never heard of it.
Oh, love Far Side. Or my personal favourite, let's just rip Toon Lagoon out and change it into Ghibli Land.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Or I did, this will only hit with certain people, but we could also have Vizland.
No. Darren, do you know what Viz is?
No.
I will send you some links at some point if I can find anything. It's a comic book.
It's based in the northeast.
Written out of the northeast of England, and it's as politically and incorrect and adult as you're possibly going to get.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ghibli Land. Can you imagine? Done right, it would be absolutely gorgeous.
You have a little forest area with your kodamas, and you could have soot sprites about, and you could have
the cat bus, and it would be stunning done right.
Kiki's Bakery.
Oh yeah.
Little Gigi cats running around.
Just merchandise alone.
Yeah, big red bows. Turnip Head.
Yeah.
There's a hat.
Who's Turnip Head?
How's Moving Castle? Yes.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I've only seen it once, and I was very tired.
So much scope with Ghibli. Selling box kites and...
See, I thought when you went modern characters, I thought you were going to go down the Adventure Time, Gumball kind of route. Gumball's awesome.
Yes, but I was looking more at comic strips.
Yeah.
Because this is what it seems to be based on.
Yeah, but is there such a thing as comic strips anymore?
Yes, there is. In fact, I've been reading lots of them because I've been on this website and I've discovered a whole new genre of comics.
Okay.
And it's brilliant. It's gocomics.com if anybody actually wants to have a look. There's hundreds. It's brilliant.
There you go.
International ones. Yeah, it's kind of about it for me.
Okay.
So
you're literally leaving it. You're either ripping it out completely and doing Studio Ghibli Land, or you're leaving everything as it is.
Yeah.
And re-theming it. So what would you do with Popeye and
I haven't thought that
Dudley Do-Right?
Do you know what? I'd probably leave them because.
Yeah, but what would you theme them to? See, I thought you were going to go down the SpongeBob route.
I never even thought of SpongeBob. The problem was in my head, I was thinking newspaper comic strips. I wasn't thinking the actual cartoons.
Yeah.
Any of those
Yeah.
could be turned into,
Oh, yeah.
Dudley Do-Right could be a Garfield ride. Where you're chasing Odie or Nermal or,
Good point.
running away
Right.
from going to the vet.
Yeah.
Or you're dreaming and chasing that lasagna. Or you're chasing the mailman.
I think it's probably going to end up being Nintendo Land, but
Yeah, probably. But
certainly what it sounds like. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Was King Kong based on a book?
I'm sure eventually, if you
Or
go
was it
back
a
far-
film? Like, the first iteration of King Kong, where did it come from?
I don't know.
do
It
you
looks
know
like the
it-
movie was the first appearance of King Kong.
Yeah,
I
so
was gonna say,
interesting.
I
That
don't-
throws all of Islands of Adventure out then.
Oh.
Yeah, which I think is fine. Because my idea doesn't work if you can follow along a literary idea. But
Yeah.
Darren.
all right, I'm bringing Nickelodeon back.
Ah.
Yes, this is going to be Nicktoon Lagoon.
Ah, nice.
I like it.
So we can keep a little homage to the original while bringing in classic and modern Nicktoons. I want to put in a SpongeBob ride, a brand new indoor, like completely done out SpongeBob ride that's mainly, physical. I would like to see like a dark ride for him. I
Yeah.
think that's what would work best for
That would be
SpongeBob.
awesome.
Jellyfishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. For Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls, I had that envisioned as I had called it Nicktoons Splashdown, where you could fit in a
Cool.
bunch of Nicktoons characters and stuff and really flesh out, the areas of the ride that
Mhm.
don't have anything. The ride vehicles themselves, I want them to be cat dog. So you sit down in them, and then just along the way you see all the different, maybe this one sticks more towards like the early 2000s Nicktoon characters like Rocco, Ren and Stimpy,
Yes.
Rugrats, that kind of thing as you're
Uh-huh.
going through there, just so that they're all featured. And then of course theme all the eating establishments and things like that. You can theme them more towards that. And this is just a personal thing for me, is I want an Invader Zim ride specific.
Yes.
So another like indoor, probably like a more intense ride for Invader Zim, I would say, than like the other attractions in the area. But I think it would be a pretty easy redo. You can just paint up the colors, make it brighter, more vibrant, and replace the toppers on the buildings with more Nicktoons oriented characters,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and the buildings themselves kind of still fit in with it. So. And then meet and greets with these original Nickelodeon characters would be awesome, like from like Real Monsters and Rocco and things like that. And I have seen in the stores, because we've been in the mall lately, holiday shopping and stuff like that, and I've seen a big resurgence of Nicktoons stuff, like the classic Nicktoons characters and things like that. So I
Okay.
think it's a very popular idea to use. So that was my idea for the area.
Excellent.
See, I'm not really aware much of Nickelodeon. Really, I don't think Jade watched it or Raymond watched it much. As
You were
not
at
when
work.
I was at home. Then
Yes. Yes.
Well,
we
yeah,
watched a
they
lot.
have a lot. They do have a lot of properties. They've got, even if you want to go out, I'm like on their Wikipedia page, they go far out as Power Rangers and
really,
Mm-hmm.
tons of original live, and that's the other thing, is like almost all their properties are original properties as well. So they have like the rights to everything. If you can get them on board, then you have a ton of properties to
Wow.
work with.
yeah, cool.
Cool. I like those ideas.
Hmm.
Go on then, Mr. Lee. What have you got?
Even though after the little discussion there that Skull Island actually throws the entire of Islands of Adventure out, because we said that everything's based on literary works, I was going to stick with the same premise and completely take Mark's bulldozers and completely
Wipe it off,
wipe it off
the
the face of Islands of Adventure. And I was thinking, what properties have we got out there that are literary based that could make? And I still want to keep it a more family friendly area. And what literary franchise, for want of a better word, is out there that would give you a lot of different properties that would potentially help you flesh out an entire land in a park as big as Toon Lagoon, because it is
That's a huge
big
area.
plot of land when you take everything into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down. Now, we've actually discussed, we've gone back and forwards on how to pronounce his name. And I've just been Googling it then. It seems like you pronounce it Ruel.
Oh, Mr. Dahl, I told you the other week it was Ruel.
Ruel Dahl.
Thank you.
Now, you think at Alton Towers
Wonderful.
a few years ago, they had a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory area, and it was actually pretty cool. It was like a water dark ride through the chocolate factory, and then you got in a simulator thing of the great glass elevators. Which
was actually quite similar to Poseidon's Fury. Where you stand in the little tiered area and you're watching the screens.
Yeah.
It's quite similar to that.
But basically, rip it out and have Rural Dahl Land. So have some sort of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, because you could do different areas. You could have a Charlie in the Chocolate Factory area, and like you said,
James the Giant
some sort of
Peach.
great glass elevator ride would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
You've got your sweet shop there.
Absolutely.
With all your unique sweet options there.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, I've put a James and the Giant Peach spinner ride because I just couldn't think of something James and the Giant
to be honest,
Peach.
That just smacks to me of like a kid's play area.
Okay.
Climb up, there's a slide coming out of the peach, and you go, you have the slide's a worm and stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, and then a restaurant either based on George's Marvellous Medicine,
brilliant,
or the Twits.
It's everything
Or
served in a
both.
beard.
You could have, it could be, you could literally do a restaurant with maybe 4 separate areas, or 4 or 5 separate areas, each area themed to a different property.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a BFG area, and a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory area, and a James and the Giant Peach area, and a Twits area, and a George's Marvellous Medicine.
Would security be the witches?
Oh, I forgot about the witches. Something witches based would be fantastic.
There's your bookshop.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Yeah. And it keeps everything in
Easy or trot.
literary.
Easy or trot, everything's backwards.
Yep. That literary standpoint that Islands of Adventure was built on, but keeping it family friendly, but with something that isn't really, it's not a property you could go anywhere else and see in a theme park.
Yeah.
And I think the Roald Dahl stuff at the moment, it is a lot more in people's, it is more worldwide now, whereas I think it used to be very British. But you've had like the BFG and the James and the Giant Peach and Fantastic Mr. Fox, like you say. So it is becoming, his properties are bigger out there now. Or go with it.
I knew about half of the ones you were talking about. So
I've actually got, we bought the kids the CD collection of the audiobooks, and
I think we
listened to them at work. Like myself and 3 other sort of 30-somethings.
Just listen to them like long car journeys.
And they're awesome. But I think that would work really well in that area.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go.
This is what Mark's got to say.
God.
Look.
Pull it down.
Look. We all know this island, just like the Lost Continent, is absolutely on the chopping block.
Yeah.
The only challenge here is trying to figure out what to replace it with. So instead of just taking a stab in the dark, let me just humbly suggest this. Take part of this land and partition it off as a Skull Island expansion.
Yeah.
Sneaking in an extra ride and a fully fledged restaurant, Mythos style, for Kong. The rest of the real estate can become whatever you fine folks want. Just please no Lord of the Rings. Mark hates those movies something fierce.
What? Oh, Mark.
Oh, we may have to have words here. The books, by contrast, are sublime. I've got to admit,
I've never
the
read
books
them, so I don't know.
Yeah. They are a journey themselves, there and back.
I've heard they are hard work.
You need a dictionary and a history book to go along with them. But if you're into that kind of thing, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah. I was advised to start with the Hobbit, and that was the right thing. So it's much easier to travel through than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But because you've read The Hobbit, you fall into the world of the Lord of the Rings. You understand the narrative and everything.
I've
So,
heard that
but yeah.
someone I used to work
Sorry,
with,
Mark, we're on Lord of the Rings.
yeah, was reading
We
the
are now a movie
books,
show or a book show.
and it was watching the films helped him read the books.
Yes.
He found them tough going. Watch the films, which helped him. Yeah,
Associate, yeah.
yeah. It makes because you can visualize it a bit more. I think it makes it easier to go through the books at that point. They are something I would like to read at some point.
Yes. Anyway, the UUOP book hour is now over.
It's not, but anyway.
Back to your regular scheduled recording. So kind of done with Toon Lagoon.
Was that Mark finished?
That was Mark finished, yeah.
So basically, you wanted to section half of it off and have a Mythos-style restaurant for Skull Island.
Yeah, and then do whatever you want with the rest.
Which is perfect, actually, for Skull Island. The mess tent was a really, really good idea, but I think you could do the opposite. If you were going to do the opposite way, it was like a caves-type restaurant, which would work just as well.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But what do you do with that, Tiny? If you're going to go that way, then you half one half.
He didn't say half it. He just said take some.
Yeah, but he basically said tiny, because if you take so much out to put that in, there's not a lot left. You might as well just half it. Give half to Skull Island and half to whatever you're going to put in Marvel Superhero Island, and just get rid of it altogether.
Right. Okay. Well, Marvel Superhero Island is next. So, Lee, why don't you tell us what you've got for Marvel Superhero Island?
Me. Anybody.
Yes, you're called Lee.
Anybody who knows me knows where I'm going to go here.
I think I do.
Would it be Rip It Out?
I think it's about time Disney
Do you want to go a
and
little darker?
Universal sat down and just thrashed this out and went, look, what is it going to take for you to give us the rights back to Marvel? Because I just think, like, kids are going to Disney and want to see Marvel characters and then having to go down to Universal, but then they're not necessarily seeing the Marvel characters that they associate with Marvel now. Like you said last week when we were talking about the character dining thing, Darren, it's like Spider-Man and Captain America, and then they don't really know who the others are. And it's just, I think it's just a weird position for kids who don't understand how the theme parks are working to go, hang on, how come I can see Captain America and Groot and the Guardians there? Yeah, I can go down to a different park down the road and see Spider-Man, and so I think it's getting to that point now where it's just like, just sit down, Disney, and say at Universal, what do we need to do to get those rights back? And it'd probably be something along 8 figures, but whatever.
Because their hands are so tied, like you said, like Universal can't really update a lot with the license anyways.
Yeah.
And Disney could do some amazing stuff with it and come up with some new advanced Marvel attractions. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see what Disney do, because I think when you look at Spider-Man as what the bar's been set for a Marvel attraction, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But yeah, and go back to the original concepts for Islands of Adventure and just go back to DC. Now, I know the DC films are very divisive and a lot of people don't like them, and I still haven't publicly said how I feel about Justice League. Nick, if you're listening, I will do at some point. But I just think to go down that route of some sort of Justice League, I've put Rip It Out and create DC Land based on I've actually put the current DC, is it Extended Universe? Because I love what Zack Snyder's done. Justice League it wasn't what it was supposed to be just purely because of what happened to Zack Snyder, but go down that route of splitting it sort of Gotham and Metropolis. I think they're the two lands you want more than anything else. Whether I would want them to retheme the rides they've already got in there or not, I'm not really sure. It would be better to come in and do something from scratch. Really raise that bar again that they set with Forbidden Journey. Do something, a dark ride, Justice League themed. Along the Forbidden Journey lines.
Oh, okay. Well, what about that one that they built for, what was that, Six Flags?
Oh,
was it an interactive one? The Justice League ride?
Shooter thing. It's just a screen base. It's just
too many screens. Yeah.
It's like Toy Story, Midway Mania, basically.
Gotcha.
The animatronics are all in the queue rather than the attraction itself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you could do something Suicide Squad based. I think would work to go take it in a different direction.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to, I feel they could go into Toon Lagoon a little bit and take part of that and create an Aquaman. If you want to keep a water ride, I know we've complained that section of the park, because if you go of what we said Islands of Adventure is going to be at this point, and you're potentially taking out the River Adventure, you're potentially taking out Popeye and Dudley Do-Right, there's all your water rides gone. So you could keep Dudley, or at least keep the footprint for Dudley Do-Right, and do some sort of Aquaman attraction in there would work really well. Take that amphitheatre and do something with that. Do some sort of stunt show or something. I mean, there's a Marvel stunt show, a touring one doing the rounds across. I don't know whether it is at the moment, but I know it's been touring America. So you could do something DC themed as a stunt show as well. But I just think for Universal to keep hold of Marvel and try and do something with it, it's just like you said, Darren, the hands are just so tied that they're only allowed to work within the parameters that Disney will let them use in. Where if they went the whole way and said, we want the rights to DC, and I'm sure, I know Six Flags have the rights to some of them, but they just basically we'll build a coaster and we'll slap Batman's name on it. So there isn't actually anything themed. If Universal went to Warner Brothers, well, they've got, is it Warner Brothers that are producing the DC stuff? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think,
you know, they have a decent relationship with them already, and go, look, we want to use your characters and your films and stuff to base a land and attractions around that. Something on the scale of a Diagon Alley or a Hogsmeade. Surely they'd snap their hands off and just let Disney have it and do what they want with it, and get away from that. Just that weird guests. It's confusing to guests to not really. It still seems weird to me to walk past a Disney store and see Marvel characters in there. It's weird, and I just I think they're fighting a losing battle trying to keep Marvel in there.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, I'm on the same page, literally. But you know, I'm a huge DC fan anyway. Not that I don't enjoy Marvel, but I've always been a darker sort of girl.
Yeah.
But it's things like, especially the new Flash. I love him.
Yes.
Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller, yeah.
Brilliant. Perfectly cast.
Boo.
Shh. Shut up, you.
CW Flash on the way. Grant Gustin, you the man.
No, he's a tool.
No way.
Anyway.
He's a fanny. He's the worst superhero in the world.
Nah.
He's useless if it wasn't for everybody else.
If you're talking about that, that's Ezra Miller all the way. Weak sauce. Can't even talk to a girl. Come on.
Go on, Trace.
How we doing?
Yeah, we've lambasted the CW.
You change your Hulk coaster to a Flash coaster.
Yeah.
But you put a light package on it. So you get that kind
of,
but it doesn't even just have to be on, it could be on parts of the actual ride. Yeah. So you go past a load of lights and it makes you feel like you're going faster.
But you could do it like a triple launch coaster, like Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens.
Yep.
Awesome.
You know, your restaurant, Wayne Manor. So you've got all the opulence, have a high-end restaurant. You said exactly what I was going to say. Use the amphitheatre for a stunt show.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't get used for anything other than the celebration of Harry Potter, and it's one weekend a year.
It's kind of like on the exact opposite side of the park to Harry Potter. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah, I can't really add much to what you've said, because you kind of covered just about everything.
I think because if you go back to
I have actually lost my notes for this land.
The original concept for the Hulk coaster was supposed to be a Silver Surfer coaster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it kind of went into, it was kind of what we heard Gringotts was going to be, where it was coaster, then into, you would stop on like a turntable that would have full range of motion, and you were in a projection dome, and the end was supposed to be, if I remember rightly, the Silver Surfer facing off against Galactus. So you could do that Flash thing and have certain sections of it enclosed in a tunnel and do like screen projections inside that, and then have another launch.
Yeah, just thought of something else as well. They have fast food outlets, flash food outlets.
There you go.
People that complain though because it's not fast enough anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you got, Darren?
I went DC for this one too.
Okay.
Oh.
That went super popular. Teen Titans Go. No, I'm just kidding. But really,
Andy's just
Cartoon
gone,
Network
woohoo!
can run a whole network on it, so I think they could probably do the entire area in that, and it would be okay. They'd probably make a ton of money on it. But no, what I thought of was kind of in hoping that they would extend park hours a little bit and keep it going into the night. Have it set up so in such a way. I don't know exactly how you do this, maybe with screens or like using video, like LCD displays, like the LCD billboards they have now, and change during the day, have it be Metropolis.
Oh my
and
God.
then at night or on a cloudy day, it turns into Gotham.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So the outside of the buildings and things like that are themed like, just like a larger, like a skyline kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would change on that. But then, of course, the attractions would have to remain static. But just to have that, so on a bright, sunny day, I want to see that like Gilded Age Metropolis style thing. But, on a dark day, I do want it to look a little grittier. And if they could, work on effects to make that work, that would be awesome to see.
So I was just thinking there you could do Gotham kind of like, if you wanted, like going away from your idea, which would, if it could work, make that work, that would be fantastic, because they do need to open Islands of Adventure later. That's we haven't said that, but to improve Islands of Adventure, just extend the hours by a couple of hours a day, but do the Gotham section like Nocturne Alley.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, like where they have like Dr. Doom's alley there.
Yeah.
It would be probably a good starting off point for that.
Yeah.
You could tear down a couple other things and make it bigger.
You have the bat symbol shining up in the sky and stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work too for sure. But yeah, I do really like that. I mean, if I had to pick and it was just one or the other, it would be Metropolis for me. Because I do like that like Gilded Age, like perfect looking Daily Planet building and things like that.
That's my favorite bit.
Yeah. I gave Aquaman the Hulk coaster just for the fact that it dips underwater in that one spot.
That's a good point.
So I thought you could put some LCD screens under there to make it look like you're actually like, for that split second you go through, if you turn your head to left or right, you see like
that would be
all of Atlantis down there.
Yeah.
I thought that would be neat. Just like see the tips of it or see Atlantis lit up in the lagoon at night.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if you like look down into the water, you just kind of see it glowing there beneath.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great.
Without having to put too much detail into it, I think you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then basically as far as the attractions go, I didn't really specifically mark out which ones would go where.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think that you would need a lot of the attractions to change completely. Mm-hmm. I was thinking like if you did have to just switch them on the fly, then Spider-Man, I think, would probably afford itself closer to like a Batman kind of thing. Yeah. Just because, the cityscape and everything that's in there.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know which way, if you wanted to use that Toon Lagoon area, the amphitheater, for more on the Toon Lagoon construction side or more for the DC side. But that's open like really for either way as far as that goes. So. Yeah. But yeah, mainly to just get rid of the stigma of the license over their head and not being able to change things and just being able to go crazy with it and still have that comic book feel.
I think the obvious choice is to keep it comic book themed and just switch from one to the other. I know we've had Jim Hill on this show for God knows how many years, and he still seems to be adamant that what they want to put in there is Wicked. I just can't.
I'm not sure that's
see
relevant
it.
anymore. But then again, that's stuff to put stuff in that's.
I just can't
current.
see it.
I'd love it, but I can't see it. I don't think it's got enough
global
scope.
appeal.
Well, I know that all the Wicked fans are screaming at me right now.
But what kids?
And I'm a huge Wicked fan, but just appreciating that the majority aren't Wicked fans.
You've got to put at this point in time. There's probably no hotter property on the planet than Marvel. So you've got to look at putting something in there that's on a par with Wicked's not that.
Anyway, I need to skip back because, you went off on one.
Go on then.
Back to DC. And I believe Mark had mentioned something about hotels. So if you changed Marvel Superhero Island to a DC world, your hotel's Arkham Asylum.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be cool.
Breakfast served in a
great.
tin tray through your door.
Yeah.
Anti-theming.
Yeah.
That would be
Screaming
awesome.
going on through the night.
Now you mentioned that Mark actually put his grand finale.
Have you got Mark's last bit?
Oh wait,
Yes.
I've got
No.
I've got a superhero island first.
Yes, I was going to say Mark's got.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on, Darren.
Stop taking over.
The preferable thing here would be to once again dismantle the entire island and rebuild it from the ground up. This time as an extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, this would mean the actors' likenesses on the rides. He says, "Hello, Tom Holland on the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man." But it could also represent a brand new narrative and overarching continuity of the shared cinematic universe, much like how Galaxy's Edge is meant to be an all-new original entry in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Hell, you could even throw in a little of the various Defenders series from Netflix or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from ABC and have a film-television crossover that we'd never otherwise get. Short of that, and short of tearing down either Stormforce Acceleron or Doctor Doom's Fearfall, I have these few quick ideas, once again stolen from my OI article. It says we can go the whole interactive element route, like the Wizarding World, and have Captain America's shield, Iron Man's gauntlet, Wolverine's claws, or Spider-Man's web slingers be interactive gadgets, with each providing a slightly different experience, making different parts of the comic book land respond to your commands. And then there's projection mapping. The Avengers could be seen fighting against, say, Thanos or Ultron, with the action unfolding from building to building all throughout the area. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But an even cooler and probably more feasible effect would be to combine them with interactive props and create some kind of mini video games. Create something of mini video games. In this way, the Avengers could assemble in the form of teams of guests coming together.
Cool.
And they would be forced to work together like their comic book counterparts in order to win the game. A guest using Spidey's web goo, for instance, could momentarily incapacitate one of Dr. Doom's robotic henchmen who has just come around the corner, while another player wearing Wolvie's claws could then finish them off.
Cool.
Something Mark just mentioned there, if they didn't want to get rid of the Marvel license and keep that, I wouldn't be against them theming that area to the Netflix Marvel stuff.
Oh, yeah.
With Punisher and Daredevil and Jessica
loved the
Jones, because
Punisher.
obviously it'd be much darker, like more
Yeah.
towards
Oh,
that
yeah.
DC stuff.
I don't know if a Punisher ride will really fly.
Oh. Are
Yeah.
you watching that at the moment, Darren?
Yes.
Oh, it's
yes,
so good.
I am.
Yeah, it's weird how far
Draw
removed.
cracking good time.
It's weird how far removed from the Marvel Cinematic Universe those Netflix series are.
Yeah, they're pretty intense and dark.
Yes, they're perfect. They're just what I want out of superhero stuff. But yeah, just to finish Mark's little things off, he's got his grand finale, and he says, "Remember that theoretical mic drop I referenced at the beginning of part 1?" Everyone's going, "No." He said, "Well, here it is. Every island gets its own highly themed boutique hotel.
Whoa.
Now, while I know your thoughts will immediately run towards Hogwarts Castle, I would actually contend that a Skull Island hotel would be one of the coolest things possible in any theme park around the world."
Okay.
And he says, "That's what I would do, at least if I ran the Universal Zoo." But yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be neat. I mean, that works well with the Jurassic World remake of
Yeah.
Jurassic Park area, because the hotel in that place is incredible, and I would love to stay there.
Yes. Me too.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah. Out of all of them, that would be the one I'd want, actually. Sorry.
yeah.
Mark.
That's immediately what just popped in my head. I was like, "Yep, I'm staying there." I
Yeah.
don't care. Y'all can stay in the castle or wherever.
It just worries me overall that probably all we're going to see two islands over the next few years is whatever they decide to put in as far as Nintendo properties.
Yeah,
Well, time will tell.
yeah.
See, I thought that every area should have its own signature drink,
Oh, yes.
And-
yeah.
at the very least a snack.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with one
Yeah.
for every area, but I thought port of entry. Right, when you think about what it is, it needs to have a fruity punch
Mm-hmm.
and a fruit-based
Yeah.
snack, because that prevents scurvy.
Ah.
True.
You know?
And it's a nice melting pot mixture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
like a punch is
of
ideal.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. Not really sure what the drink was because I never got that far. But you could have
Dino
a
beer.
dino claw, which is like a bear claw.
Oh, yes, that's perfect.
Uh-huh. I'm sure that Voodoo Bakery can help out with that.
See,
Oh,
Zeus
yeah.
has got their own, haven't they? They've got
Yes.
moose juice and grey goose juice, which apparently went
Oh,
down
yes.
the storm, by the way.
I need to patent that one. And the green eggs and ham, which I need to bring back.
Yes.
Obviously, Wizarding World's got its butterbeer, its
Yeah.
cauldron cakes.
It's probably the
Yeah.
Wizarding World's probably got the most.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lost Continent. I've just written down lumps of meat.
Gyros, haven't they? That's what they've got.
Yeah. Turkey legs.
They're not turkey legs. Not the turkeys as I've seen.
You know, and ale.
Grog.
There you go.
You know.
Yep.
No, grog is...
Flagons of ale.
Yes, flagons of
Mead.
ale. 'Cause that's what would have
That's
been
a
drunk.
place where I like to see some nice signature meads.
Yes.
No. Yes, we got a bottle of mead as a wedding present. It was vile.
That doesn't bother me. I don't drink.
You did
Oh, I love
then.
mead.
Got nothing from Marvel Superhero Island or Toon Lagoon. And obviously it was the Kong dog and a banana shake is what I'd put.
The Iron Man special is just like spaghetti with little computer components in it.
See, shouldn't the Iron Man special be something like liver and onions because it's iron? I'm here all day,
Liver,
folks.
onions with spinach. There you go.
See, it's weird when you talk about signature drinks. You look that they had Energon out in Universal
Yeah.
Studios Hollywood for when Transformers
Yeah.
opened over there. I'm not sure whether it's still there, but it never came over to Orlando, which I find strange.
Oh yeah.
Because we'd heard
Forgot
it was
about that.
going to be. Because originally, I think the rumours going around that Monsters Cafe was going to be some sort of Transformers restaurant, and that never happened, and that's where we were expecting to get Energon, which... it seems strange why they never brought that over.
Do different states have different licensing laws, Darren?
I'm sure.
But it
There's
wasn't
all kinds of-
alcoholic.
No, but it might be above an allowable level of something in it.
They're serving drinks literally on dry ice in Springfield
Well, I
that
know.
burn your
I
tongue.
know. I'm just looking for reasons. Don't shout at me.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
But no, it's just... Islands of Adventure, as it is at the moment, just feels very flat. You go in, you ride Spider-Man, you spend a couple of hours in Hogsmeade.
If it's nice out, you do Toon Lagoon if you like water rides and stuff.
Yeah. And then you might go into Zeus Landing for a little bit, and then you're pretty much done.
Yep.
That's
Which is
pretty
sad.
much we did last time. Obviously, because when we went,
Don't forget your loitering port of entry on the way in
yeah,
and the
the
way
Hulk.
out.
When we went last, the Hulk was down. You were ropey, so
Oh,
you
yes.
didn't want to ride water rides. So we
Well, I didn't stop you from riding water rides.
Well, we
though.
did. I couldn't be asked, to be honest. We did Jurassic Park, me and the kids, and
Yeah.
we didn't even spend an awful lot of time in Hogsmeade at that point.
We didn't spend a lot of time anywhere, but that's a long and different story.
Well, we did spend a lot of time in Hogsmeade standing around, but that's a different story. Yeah, it pales in comparison to what the studios is at this point. Especially, like I say, if they don't do anything in Islands of Adventure by 2021, by the time Super Nintendo Land World, whatever they're going to call it, opens in Kids Zone, it's going to look even worse compared to the studios.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and that's another thing. I still think they need some sort of nighttime show in there. I know they've got the Castle projection show at the moment, and they're probably going to carry that on into the new year. They'll probably do something non-Christmas related, but I think they need something along the lines of the Cinematic Spectacular. Not necessarily the same technology, but something along those lines in the Lagoon to give people a finale to their day in Islands of Adventure.
They could do a drone show over the lagoon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Simple as that.
Something, themed to every property in the park.
Yep.
Yeah.
An Iron Man
Like a
drone.
crazy water light show, since they can't do a lot of fireworks and stuff over there.
Yeah.
I think that would be just be able to use the lagoon a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that Hogwarts Castle show is going absolute gangbusters, but it just, from what we're seeing outwardly, it looks a nightmare.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
this
such a
little
tight
corner.
space. Yeah.
It's like you said 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Darren, it seems like literally you have a group of people in front of the castle that watch it. They watch the show, then they move on, and then the next group move up, and then they move on, and then the next group move up.
Yeah. And that's if they leave after the first one. Or some people might say, hey, I waited 2 hours, so I'm going to watch 2 of these shows.
So there you go. I think we put all our ideas in a hat there, and I think Islands of Adventure would be pretty awesome.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It has been. It's been very interesting this week that Darren's never gone down the Back to the Future route. Like nearly everyone last time. It's like, Darren, what have you got?
Back to the
Picture,
Future.
Hill Valley, 1955.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to give him a break.
Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
No? Right. Well, it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed our little imagination tour.
Yeah.
So
Universal,
yeah.
if you're listening,
Feel
you
free
can
to
use
check
them all
any of
free.
them.
Yeah, it's fine. You usually do anyway.
Right then, that is going to do it for episode 278 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Good night, all.
Well, that wraps up another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Thanks for listening. Between shows, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. But if you're not an Apple user, you can find us on Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, or wherever great podcasts are found. Head over to our blog at uuopodcast.com for show notes, articles, and more. You can get in touch with us by emailing podcast@uuopodcast.com or leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Just search UUO Podcast. And if you're planning a trip to Universal Orlando or Walt Disney World, please check out our sponsors by going to mouseandmuggle.com to book your next trip. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.